Story of Victor of Aveyron. Gather around, children! Now, I'm going to tell you a fascinating story that happened a long time ago in a faraway place called Aveyron. So, let's start! Once upon a time, there was a boy, but this was no ordinary boy. This boy was discovered in the woods and looked like he was about 12 years old. But here's the strange part. He didn't wear any clothes, he couldn't talk, and didn't act like the other kids you know. So, the people living nearby the town were really surprised by him. They didn't know what to make out of him because he didn't seem to feel shy being naked, and he only seemed to care about eating, sleeping, and running away. It was all very puzzling. Then, a kind priest decided to take care of that boy, thinking he might need some help. But even the priest couldn't figure out why he was so different, or why the boy was so different. He didn't talk, and his behavior was more like an animal than a person. So the priest asked a scientist who lived in a town called Itadas to take a look at that boy. But the scientist only treated him like a dog. So news of this strange boy reached the big city called Paris, where a famous expert named Roche Ambrose Istallard or Sicard decided to study him. Sicard brought among all other experts like a smart doctor named Philippe Penet. They decided that the boy was an idiot because they thought that he had a hard time learning and understanding things. But there was one young scientist named Jean-Marc Itard who didn't agree with this idea. He saw potential in that boy and wanted to help him learn. So, he took the boy to live with him and even gave him a name, Victor. Little by little, Victor started to get better. He learned some words and showed that he could care for other people. But it wasn't easy, and there were many challenges along the way. So, after many years of hard work, Victor made progress, but he still couldn't talk very well. So, Ether believed that learning to speak a bit is like learning to ride a bicycle. It means it is much easier when you are younger. So, Victor's story continued for a long time, and he stayed with that condition. But you know what's amazing? Jean-Marc Itard's work with Victor led him to become a very famous scientist. He helped many other kids to learn, especially those who couldn't hear or talk well. So, Victor's story reminds us that with patience and care, we can help other people to learn and grow. So, now children, what do you think will happen to Victor if he exists in different era like era of extermination, era of ridicule, era of asylum, and era of today?
of extermination. Victor's existence as a person brings a challenge to the oppressing regime that has labeled him defective. His difficulties, which make him rare and special, are viewed as a burden in a culture that places the highest value on compliance. Since Victor is not a typical human being or a normal humankind, everyone wants to find and kill him. He is seen as a sinner or evil in this era of extermination. So the people with disabilities like Victor have no rights to live. While in the New Testament, after several years, they appreciate how valuable individuals with disabilities like Victor are. They start to recognize them as person with disabilities and not disabled person. The government granted them the freedom to continue living their lives and the safeguards they are needed.
Victor, the wild boy of Aveyron during the era of ridicule. It is a day of festival and there is a various show. There are live performances, rides, and many more that could give people satisfaction, happiness, and joy. Then there is this one show. It is about a 12-year-old boy with disability that is titled as The Crazy Idiot Boy. Since he can't speak, the man who owns him as a toy or as a thing to earn money. He make him cry, laugh, and angry in a show. He make Victor to follow him without knowing that Victor will get wild because of a repeated treatment. Then the man got beaten by Victor. He escaped to that man, but people still make fun of him, thrown stones, and played with like a useless toy.
Era of Asylum discussed the time or opportunities for the people with disabilities. Even though at the beginning there were no education, but at least they were dealing with those with disabilities as human. Victor's story about life narrated some incident showing what era of Asylum is. It was started when Itarde adopted Victor and teach him by the support of Madame Gwen. With the help of Itarde, who disagreed that the person with disability is seen as an idiot, and prior to his perspective, it resulted in progress.
If Victor is living in today's era, his case would definitely change compared to what experience he passed through. We all know the difference between those eras as compared to what is it nowadays. There are different organizations or facilities that can help him to do well and fight against his unnecessary situation in life. If someone saw Victor in the middle of the forest, I do believe that there is a kind-hearted person that will help him to get out of the said scenario. His disability is not a reason to abandon and let him live on his own together with animals in the forest. He can have a psychiatrist that will assist him to do well mentally and physically. There are also different persons that can lend a hand to observe his behavior, and especially he can improve his education in era of today because situation like this is now well treated and they are considered as special with special needs and abilities that needs to provide and develop. With the help of this era, we can help him to survive and realize his uniqueness in this world. He will also realize that there is a world where a special person like him is wholeheartedly accepted and welcome like the regular one.